Hi dear Pisces, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of April. This year, April is quite busy because we've got like 4 events happening in April. That is solar eclipse in Aries, which is like one of the biggest events of the year. It's happening in April. We also got Mercury retrograde, the first Mercury retrograde of the year, and it's gonna happen in Aries. And then we've also got the rare conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. And towards the end of April, we got a full moon in Scorpio. So as you can see, it's going to be quite an eventful month. And remember, we are in the midst of the eclipse season, so energies are a bit tense. Routine is a bit like hectic. Everyone is busy, busy getting used to the new normal brought by the eclipses, okay, adapting to the changes. So everyone is busy around this time. But I assure you that like towards the middle of May, the dust will have settled, all right? And we won't have an eclipse until September. So we will have stability until September. And dear Pisces, April is usually the time when you focus on your values, on your finances, on your income, okay, on your self-worth, because the planets will be transiting through your second house in April. Towards the end of April, you will slowly start focusing more on siblings, communication, interaction, writing, expressing yourself verbally, short distance travel. Have I mentioned siblings? Yeah, neighbors, siblings, that kind of stuff will be more of your focus towards the end of April when the sun enters Taurus. But most of April, you are focused on your finances and income and your values. And so let's begin. On the very first day of April, Mercury will station retrograde on the 27th degree of Aries. And so, dear Pisces, this is your second house. Mercury retrograde means that you will have to go back to something and fix it. I don't know, maybe something that you neglected in your finances, now you have to go back and resolve it. Maybe find out something now that you have the chance to fix it. It's the energy of Mercury retrograde. Generally, Mercury retrograde is a period of miscommunications, misunderstandings, because Mercury rules communication. Let's say you forget to attach the file to the email, or maybe you send the email to the wrong person, or you forget to untag this person who's not supposed to see that email. Things like that happen around Mercury retrograde. Also, your phone might malfunction around this time, making communication like frustrating, causing delays in communication. A lot of social media apps are down sometimes when Mercury is retrograde. And also, what else? Try not to sign agreement contracts in April because, again, Mercury rules those things. And what else? Try not to buy electronics because they will not last as long as they're supposed to. They will like break down around this period. I know someone whose fridge broke when Mercury was retrograde. And also remember that when Mercury is retrograde, we tend to become much more forgetful. Yeah, we become very forgetful. Like last year, for example, during Mercury retrograde, I forgot my house keys at work. Like that rarely happens to me. I always make sure I have my keys and stuff like before leaving any place. But that one time I forgot it. I come home, I'm like, where are my keys? And then I suddenly remember that I left it on my desk at work. Another time last winter, I forgot my phone at work. Like, how ridiculous is that? Nowadays, our phones are on our hands most of the time, right? But like, I come home, I'm like, where's my phone? And so things like that happen during Mercury retrograde. So I would suggest creating a mini checklist for yourself in April so that you can check it before leaving the house, or in fact, any place. And another thing I need to mention is, dear Pisces, if you are thinking of traveling around this time, be mindful that there is a possibility of flight delays, flight cancellations. So make sure you know the airline policies because sometimes the airline has to reimburse you for the flight delays or flight cancellations. And generally, the public doesn't know these things because airlines don't want us to know these things, right? So do research it. I'm sure TikTok has like plenty of videos explaining those. And also, I would suggest getting one of those Apple tags for your suitcase because luggages tend to also get lost a lot during Mercury retrograde. And with that thing, you will be able to easily locate your luggage in case it gets lost. And mostly though, like for you, it might be about finances. Maybe, like, I don't know, there was some problem with your banking app and now you have to resolve that issue. It's like technology, Mercury, second house, finances. So I'm assuming it might be something about like money transfer, banking app, that kind of issue for you. And generally speaking, though, Mercury retrograde in Aries means that people might be a lot more rude than average and than usual around this time. Because again, Aries can be rude when they're impatient. It's like a get to the point kind of energy. Don't take it personally if people are rude. Mind your own words, actually. If you yourself might say something impulsively that you regret later. Be mindful of that. And so, generally, stay flexible, be patient with others around this time in April, I would say. So that is it for Mercury retrograde. And now, on April 4th or 5th, depending on where you live, Venus will enter Aries until April 29th. Yeah, and so, dear Pisces, for you, this is your second house, and Venus's presence in that house is good because Venus rules Taurus. So Venus feels comfortable in your second house. It should give a blessing to your financial dealings in April. So financially, April looks good for you guys. And generally, when Venus is transiting through Aries, we all tend to become bolder, more confident, more assertive in romance because, Venus rules romance and Aries is the first sign. It likes making the first move. So, single Pisces, maybe around this time you will have the courage to ask someone out, or maybe they will ask you out because they finally feel brave enough to approach you. So, this is a possibility in April. And so, after this, on April 8th, we've got one of the major events of the year, solar eclipse in Aries. And dear Pisces, again, this is your second house. Your income will be affected, your finances will be affected in a positive way because this is a North Node eclipse. North Node eclipses are where we welcome new beginnings, like where we take new opportunities, okay? It's the South Node eclipses where we have to let go of something, where we have to sacrifice something. But North Node is where we take things. Okay, so that is good. And also, this eclipse is in Aries, the first sign, so new beginnings. And this is a new moon solar eclipse. So this is like a triple indication of something new. Maybe some Pisces will have a new stream of income after this. Maybe some Pisces will get a raise at work, like which will significantly improve your finances. Because eclipses don't bring just minor changes, they bring big changes. And you get eclipses in your second house with the North Node in Aries once every 18 years only. Last time you had North Node in Aries in your second house was in 2005 and 2006. Try to remember what happened to your finances back then. Like, did you experience like financial stability, like increase in your finances back then? Did you experience like I don't know, more profits, more clients during that period? Did you buy something expensive around that time? Maybe like invested in jewelry, like I don't know, maybe bought something expensive, because second house also rules possessions. And so what I'm trying to say is around this period similar themes will repeat. So it will be about like finances. Your self-worth might improve, yes, like knowing your worth and like being more confident in yourself, like because when you know your worth, you don't accept less than you deserve. So this eclipse might help you know your true worth. Because finances in a strange way are very much tied to self-worth. That's why those two themes are ruled by the second house, by Taurus. Because when you feel like your self-worth is low, you accept low salary. But when you know your worth, you charge at an appropriate rate, or you accept better salary. So this is the theme. Hopefully this eclipse will make you realize how worthy you are. And another thing I need to mention about this solar eclipse is that it doesn't really have any bad aspects. So the changes brought will be positive. And also, the only major conjunction it makes is with Chiron, an exact conjunction actually. So this is significant. And since this eclipse doesn't have any bad aspect, I would say that the eclipse will activate the positive side of Chiron, which is healing. And that's great. So maybe it will bring some like financial healing or self-worth healing. Yeah, that should be the theme. I'll try to make a separate video for the solar eclipse, so make sure you check that out. I'll try to give more details in there. Next, on April 11th, we have the conjunction of the Sun and Mercury retrograde in Aries on the 22nd degree of Aries. As you know, Mercury starts retrograding when it gets a bit too far away from the Sun, so it slowly starts going back towards the Sun. And so on April 11th is when they meet, right? And after this conjunction, Mercury will get behind the Sun. And this is an important transition because before the conjunction, Mercury was an evening star, and after this conjunction, it will emerge as a morning star when it's visible again. And so this is important symbolically, like subconsciously, because it marks an important shift in our communication and self-expression. And so on that day of conjunction, we should gain some clarity, some understanding, and it will be from within, like internally, because this conjunction is internal. The Mercury will be close to Earth, between the Sun and the Earth. Normally, when Mercury is direct and conjunct the Sun, it's on the other side of the Sun, making it easy for us to express ourselves to others. But here, it's internal, it's inside us. So whatever clarity and understanding will come to, it will be from within. And so you can expect big ideas around that day. Leaders might be giving a lot of passionate speeches around that time, so that should be interesting. And next, on April 19th, we've got, the Sun will enter Taurus until May 20th. Like the Sun always enters Taurus around this time, transits Taurus around this time. And so this means that the focus will slowly shift towards your siblings, communication, neighbors, short distance travel, after a period of focusing on your self-worth and finances. On the same day that Sun enters Taurus, Mercury will be conjunct Venus in Aries, making communication smooth on that day. Even though Mercury is retrograde, but still Venus's presence adds a bit of pleasantness into it. One day after the Sun enters Taurus, we have that rare conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. This conjunction is happening in your third house, and this is significant because this conjunction happens once every 14 years, and the conjunction happens in a different sign each time. Like last time this conjunction happened was 13 years ago, and back then Uranus was in Aries, Jupiter was also in Aries. So the conjunction happened in your second house. So try to remember what happened to you financially in the spring of like 2011. So it must have been like big bold change. But this time it's happening in Taurus, so in your third house. You can expect bold big changes, a burst of excitement, adventure, like possibly going on a fun short distance trip, maybe something exciting, like doing something exciting with your sibling, maybe something exciting in your neighborhood, maybe like getting a brilliant idea for writing for book, because Uranus is brilliance and Jupiter expands everything, so it's going to be like a grand idea. And so this is the energy of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. Like we're not gonna have this conjunction in Taurus in our lifetime. It's gonna happen like 80 years from now. Last time Uranus and Jupiter were conjunct in Taurus was in the early 1940s, more than 80 years ago. And so, enjoy this transit, dear Pisces. I know you guys are very creative. Most of my favorite writers are actually Pisces, so I hope you guys get some brilliant idea for the next awesome book for us to read. And next, one day after this conjunction, this great conjunction, we've got a bit of a tiny crappy aspect. The Sun in Taurus will be making a square to Pluto in Aquarius on the 2nd degree. And so this might indicate a bit of like power struggles, but thankfully this is a very short-lived aspect. It's going to be active for 3 days only. and we will still be in the effect of the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction, so hopefully we're not going to feel this square aspect between the Sun and Pluto. And finally, on April 23rd, we've got the full moon in Scorpio, on the 4th degree of Scorpio. And so, dear Pisces, for you, Scorpio, that is your 9th house. So the full moon will be illuminating your 9th house of long distance travel, foreigners, uh, foreign cultures, cuisine, languages, philosophy, your worldview, your beliefs, your religious beliefs. What else? Higher education, okay? And the sun will be shining in your 3rd house, so there will be a need for balance between those two areas. And both of those houses are very much about learning. The 3rd house is about schooling. 9th house is about higher education. They're also about communication in a way, because 3rd house is just everyday communication, while 9th house is our beliefs, expressing our beliefs. So there might be time of debate, talking. For some Pisces, it might be the time when it's a culmination of studies. Maybe you were taking a course and now you completed around this full moon. That is also a possibility. For other Pisces, it might be the time when you are traveling or return from a long distance trip, because 9th house is faraway lands. All right. And for other Pisces, it might be the time when you're getting immigration documents. Let's say you applied to renew your passport, and around this full moon, you get your new passport. Or other Pisces, maybe they applied for a visa and they get their visa interview around this time, or they receive their passport with the visa around this time. So that is a possibility too. And then, next, on April 25th, Mercury goes direct in Aries. Yes, finally, after 3.5 weeks of irritation, delays in communication, confusion, forgetfulness, finally things will slowly start going back to normal. But I wouldn't jump to signing contracts right away, because Mercury is still going to be in the shadow zone for a couple of weeks. So I would wait until mid-May to do those. And next, on April 29th, Venus will enter Taurus until May 23rd. And so Venus will leave your house of finances and enter your communication house. So this should make communication very pleasant, very charming, maybe communicating with charming people, talking about beautiful things. I don't know. And so next on when Venus enters the 3rd house, if you're thinking of going on a short distance trip in May, it might be to a beautiful location or in beautiful company, because of Venus. On April 30th, Mars will enter Aries until June 9th. And dear Pisces, Mars is going to bring its hyperactive energy, go, hurry up, do it, that kind of energy into your house of finances. So Pisces, you might spend impulsively around this time, or there might be a lot more expenses than usual around this time. I noticed that when Mars is transiting my 2nd house, I spend a lot. Yeah, so watch your budget in May, dear Pisces, because Mars will make you impulsively spend. Beware, okay? And so, dear Pisces, this is it for April. As I said, it's going to be a busy month. Remember that we're in the midst of the eclipse season. So prepare. People are going to be on the edge, not necessarily in a bad way. It's just we're all busy adapting to the changes brought by the eclipses. And so the dust should settle by mid-May, and we'll be back to normal in May. And so thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in my solar eclipse video and in my May video. Bye.